Good morning again. It's Sunday, March 27th. I just watched the Duran. It was extremely disturbing to watch their presentation. These two gentlemen really do have their finger upon the pulse of world politics, and they understand what's going on. The problem is that we Americans don't understand what's going on. And so I've got to address you, and I have to be careful what I say. I apologize for talking too slowly, but I'm trying to self-censor so that I don't get censored by you-know-who. Now, right now, the United States of America is progressively isolating itself from the rest of the world. We're not forming a consensus. We're not working with other people at all. We're not consulting with people before we take action, and we're making things worse. Right now, we're losing our allies. The only allies left are the Japanese and South Korea and some of the NATO countries, but we're going to lose those. And the next country, we've lost India, we've lost Indonesia. We're going to lose Germany. And when that happens, it's pretty much all over. What you need to understand is that the United States of America is occupied illegally today by a foreign enemy called the Khazarian Mafia. And they have taken us hostage. They have deported us in place. If you read the Bible, you will see that the Israelites were deported by the Assyrians. They were taken into captivity. After about 3 or 4 major incursions into northern Israel, the Israelites were taken and put in areas inside of, on the other side of Assyria to protect them from the Medes. They were placed between the two to be a buffer. So they were real cannon fodder between the Medes and the Assyrians. And not only that, but they, after depopulating the original Israelites from Israel, or Samaria, if you want to name it after the capital, they repopulated the area with a bunch of people from different ethnicities, different races, and they did that purposely to weaken the people there, and that worked really well. Now, this is what's happened to us. We've been taken captive, and how did that happen? We turned our backs on Yahweh. That's all there is to it. We stopped reading our Bibles, and we stopped being people of the truth. We became people of the lie. Tell me smooth things. Lie to me. Tell me platitudes. Say all these nice things. Don't tell us the truth. Oh, heavens, no. Don't say those harsh things that hurt our feelings. No, we can't have it that way. So we are in captivity, but instead of being deported, we're in place. Now, I'm giving you a crash course because there's no other time. We don't have time to go through the Bible and take our time reading it. In the Old Testament, in the prophets, there were 2 mentions by the major prophets and God warned the people about one specific sin in particular, which they won't preach in the pulpits because it would be so offensive today to you poor people out there with your whatever feelings. What you need to understand is that they were told specifically, if you put your wives away, in other words, if you divorce your wife, you are not to take them back. So once you put the woman out of your house, you divorced her, you couldn't take her back. And why was that? Because if you do, you shall pollute the land, and the land will spew you out. That's what one of them said. And the other one's worded a little bit differently. I don't have time to look it up for you today. All I can tell you is that that's what we've been doing here, is we've been polluting the land by taking the women back. And that's a mistake. I understand female nature. I understand men's nature. And we have a problem. If you're going to divorce a woman, don't take her back. Okay, let's get into it right now. The human soul, the spirit, is an electromagnetic force. When we talk about the electric universe, it's quite literally the electric universe. So not only do we have this biology, but we've got this field around us. And in case you're wondering how big it is, you look at the old medieval castles, and those were big enough to accommodate a man's full aura going through. Plenty of width, plenty of height, because that field expands from us. Some of us got 12-foot auras. Some of us got big electromagnetic fields. In case you're wondering where it comes from, the heart generates that field. Okay? Now, when you have sex, you actually merge those auras. Those auric fields merge. And the problem is that when you part, there's an impression that's left. And the impression on a man's magnetic field, and this is according to the old Vedic literature, the old Yogi Bhajan stuff, the old Siri Singh Sahib, the 3HO, the most modern religion on the planet, Sikh Dharma, the Sikh religion, which was synthesized in the 1700s. According to the old scriptures, real old scriptures, a man will wear the auric imprint of his sex partner for a year, a full year before it will wear off. Now, I haven't tested that stuff. We haven't got the research going on there yet. We're not wanting to go there because it doesn't support the narrative of our keepers. They want us as screwed up as they can get. Now, here's the real problem, ladies. In your auric field, you got extra given to you. You've got extra parts of that electromagnetic field given to you for the purposes of motherhood. Now, when you use that extra talent that you have to manipulate, for womanly purposes, I hate to use that word, it just sort of slights on you a little bit. When you use that extra talent to manipulate, you drive yourselves crazy. Okay? That was given to you for the purposes of motherhood. Yes, you're greater. Yes, there's more to you. However, here's the other part of the problem. Not only do you have the biology, the chemistry, the hormones to worry about, you have this electromagnetic field. And when you engage in sex, it's permanent. That imprint of your lover on your aura is a permanent part of your being. And what I mean is, after death, when your soul leaves, that's out there forever. Here's the problem. When a man puts a woman out and she goes off with another man, or if a woman decides she's going to cheat on her husband or her boyfriend, she comes back to him with this stranger's auric imprint. And then she engages in sex with her boyfriend or sex with her husband or sex with her former husband, and she shocks him with this auric impression of the other man, of this stranger. And the problem is, a man will feel it, and it shocks him, and it's a shock from which he will never recover, and it will make him a bit crazy. I think that I've done some pretty stupid things in my life, and I can count the things on one hand as far as the stupidity, and the most stupid of them was involvement with a married woman. Long time ago, I paid a dear price for it, a high price for it. Now, when one of these women that's paired off comes at me, man, I avoid them like the plague because I've already paid for that one time. I'm not going to do that to myself again. Don't do that to yourself, men. When you take them back, you're hurting yourself. You're polluting the land is the term in the Bible. And I'm sure that some of us will be able to get into that polluting the land and take it down to some real essence, some real nuts and bolts, the physics, the electromagnetic, the chemistry. We're gonna be able to realize there's a lot of wisdom and understanding to that. So we've become the land of Sodom 2.0, the land of Sodom and Gomorrah. We turned our backs on Yahweh. The enemy made sure to help us. They gave us a new Bible. They gave us these phony religions, these man-made superstitious religions, and they've done a great harm to us. So please read the Bible. Get the Bible that I'm featuring on my new channel. My commentaries are going to belong on the Dr. John Taylor Kent channel, Giving Psychology Away. Psychology is the study of the soul. My name among the Sikhs that was given to me is one that embarrasses me because I can't live up to it. And it was Paramatma, Paramatma Singh, meaning the Supreme Soul. Now, I know that some of you guys got names to live up to, but could you imagine walking around and the name the Supreme Soul? I mean, come on, I left that quite a while ago, but that was the name. I didn't use it very much at all. What I want to tell you is that, I think I'm going to be fulfilling the destiny of understanding this. And psychology has lost its way. They've forgotten that that psychology is the study of the soul. And one of the problems is that the psi letter, Greek letter psi, P-S-I, looks like a damn pitchfork or a trident. The trident of Neptune, the god of the underworld, the god of the sea. You need to think about these myths and all of these old stories and realize there's a little bit of truth in each one of them. There's something to be learned and something to be gained. So we're in dire straits. We've been conquered from within. We are illegally occupied by the Khazarian mafia, and they have superimposed a foreign jurisdiction upon us. That little postage stamp of a country in the Middle East isn't half of our problems. The real enemy is in Washington, D.C. By the way, those weather treaties where they can't do weather wars against each other, they specify it's okay to do the weather war on your own people. So they are doing that stuff to us. They are manipulating things like crazy. You want to know the cause of mental illness? You want to know the cause of cancers? All of that stuff has been created by these devils. They own this place, they run the place, and we're going to take it back. That's our job. And I don't know, but Pastor Paul Burnham said we were going to get help from the outside. And what he meant by that is that our brothers and sisters from distant planets were going to come and join us in this fight. That's what his ideas were. They're a little different, I understand. I'm open to the possibility, and I should welcome it right now because I want these devils out of here. So get the Bible. The proper name version of the King James Bible is the best one in English. I have asked the publisher to produce a parallel translation with a decent version of the King James side by side with the new modern one. And I've also asked for a separate standalone copy of the Apocryphal books. I've got to get you also reading the book of Jasher, the prophet Jasher. Ever hear of the prophet Jasher? No, there wasn't a prophet Jasher. Jasher means the book of the upright, and it refers to the men and women at the time of Genesis, and the time of Moses, the time of Exodus. It's important that we read those and understand those. We are in trouble. The U.S. dollar is probably going to collapse. Maybe it won't be such a bad thing. Maybe it will be a blessing in disguise. The Biden administration is making decisions which just don't make sense unless you want to destroy the nation, unless maybe you're George Soros and Barack Hussein Obama and you're working behind the scenes and you're the one calling the shots. And what did George Soros say his life's mission was? Did he not say he hated this nation? Did he not say that he would see it destroyed if it was the last thing he did? Well, how does our Mark Zuckerberg work in all that, since he helped George Soros with this with the legal defenses and slowdowns and snafus on all of these court cases about that election that went haywire? Nobody has faith in that system anymore. People around the world are laughing at us and they're also pretty sad because they realize with all the might and power we have, we've been taken over from within. And the problem that we're going to wake up to is that we've been used. American military might has been projected across the face of the earth in ways which were not proper. Talk about war crimes. I don't know how many labs there are in the Ukraine, but they're all by our Defense Department. They're all funded by our Defense Department because that stuff is illegal to do here, so they did it over there. There's more than 30 of them in the Ukraine. That's what we know about. As far as Vladimir Putin goes, may the Lord bless you, Vladimir Putin. May he guide you. May he lead you to every one of those labs, and may you eradicate it. From what I hear, they're working on smallpox. And from what I read in the Bible, it sounds like they're going to succeed in getting a smallpox bioweapon. And it says in the Bible that people are going to be suffering so badly, they're going to be praying to die. They're going to hope and wish to die. They're going to be in that much pain and agony. Folks, we got a chance to stop them. What I think the Bible is, and what I think my dreams are, and what I think your dreams are parallel realities, parallel universes, possible futures for all of us. If we pull together and start praying, and we call upon the name of Yahweh, even if you're not of Israelite descent, even if you're not Israelite, call upon the name of Yahweh. And I don't want you arguing with each other about, who's really an Israelite and who's not. We know that the Ethiopians, who are blacks, preserved some of that Bible better than the rest of the world did. And we should be grateful to them and embrace them and welcome them, or maybe should they be welcoming us? Look, folks, the bankers purposely divided this nation. And that's what I heard when Trump was presenting at the dinner given, the fundraiser given by the Roman Catholic Church in New York City shortly after the election, at which he and Hillary Clinton were present with the other politicians. And what did Trump brag about? Never before has America been so divided. Those pompous jerks up there were all happy that we were divided. Now, why would they all be united against us? What is the great cause that they speak about? Might that be code name for the destruction of America, or the return of the beast, if you will, of the violence for the God that they worship? And folks, in case you're wondering, they do worship the sun. The sun does control all life on this earth, including whether or not the planet warms up or not. There's no anthropomorphic global warming. It's all due to the sun. It's all due to where we are in the Milky Way. It's all due to that cosmic dust, the cosmic radiation. It's all the way Creator Father Yahweh God set it up a long time ago. The Earth's about 4 or 5 billion years old. It may seem like a long time, but in the big scheme of things, it's not very long. What you need to understand is that these electromagnetic fields that are wearing these bodies right now, these flesh outfits, those things appear to have been present and witnessed the creation of all this stuff. I guess that makes me, at least 4 or 5 billion years old. How old are you? Have you already had half of your life before you, or do you have half of your life left? Where are you on that? Do you regard yourself as having lived half of your life? Or do you have more than half of your life ahead of you? Yes, that's one of the tips that I got from one of my mentors. Goodbye.